All right, hey fellas, how you doing? How's everyone out there doing? Doing good? Just a quick question. Does anybody know what Skibbity Sigma Ohio means? Like, no, seriously asking. My son says it all the time. No fucking clue. Anyway, my name is Paul Chenet, head of global sales here at Playwire, joined by Matthew Benson and Pete Basjan. Super excited to come out and talk to you today. Podcasts were the big winner in the last election. And they won because they proved they could reach young men and they could influence them to take action. And it kind of underscored a really big problem right now, which is young men, 18 to 24, Gen Z, they're just not engaging with traditional media. They're really not engaging with traditional media. And the problem only accelerates as you get younger. So we wanted to bring up Pete because he's got incredible perspective on this market, on gaming, and Matt because he's really working hard to solve this problem. So start with a couple of data points. You got to have them. Pulled this 44% of time spent by Gen Z is spent playing video games and watching people play video games. The number that's actually pretty crazy is that equates to about 16 hours a week for the average 13 to 24-year-old. It's 32, that's 64 hours a month. I mean, that's a full-time job, which is creating a real problem. These users are not exposed to advertising. We talk a lot about kids having grown up with advertising. It's true. They've grown up with advertising in a bit of a different way. What they are not is exposed to advertising in any consistent or high-frequency way. Again, I've got a 9-year-old at home, and he doesn't see an ad throughout the entire day. He's one of these guys. He's spending up to 35 hours a month playing Valorant. And this is only accelerating. I think one of the things I've seen is in my time in gaming, and I see a lot of people on stage that I've known since the very beginning in gaming, but what I've seen in my time in gaming is gaming has gone from fringe culture to subculture to culture to the immersive and dominant culture right now. And if you look at Gen Z and Gen Alpha very specifically, this is where they're spending their time. So we see this as a big problem. Marketers out there, you're not building your funnel. You're not accessing the next generation of buyer of your product. You're not influencing purchase decisions within the home if you're not thinking about this. So wanted to bring Matt here. He's working actively on solving this problem, finding hard to reach audiences, reaching the content and community they love with great creative. So Matt, as a gamer, as an entrepreneur, why don't you take it away and tell us how you're looking at this problem?
Yeah, good to see everybody. Like Paul said, my name is Matthew Benson. I'm one of the co-founders and then CEO of eFuse, and we've developed Sidekick, and I am the data point. I'm a male, I'm Gen Z, and I love video games. And my wife often jokes, like, I spend a lot of time playing video games, and it's research. That's what I tell her, at least. So I like to think that while I'm part of the data point, I'm also like getting a firsthand experience to be able to solve the problem. And so when we think about the solution that we've developed, which is Sidekick, there's really 3 things that we've leaned into. And the first thing is authentic voices. So what we've done is we've taken 38,000 live streamers from across a variety of platforms, Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. And basically, we enable brands to find the communities and the audiences that match up with their brand. And so what you're seeing here on screen is actually a collaboration we did with Crocs. With Crocs, where we helped them partner with a variety of different creators that already love Crocs, that they were talking about them in their stream, they were talking about it to their audiences. So it's a very natural and authentic way for them to be able to promote their brand. And we do that through the live stream. And Pete, I'm sure you have experience with that on the authentic voices, how important that really is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the core of the whole live streaming ecosystem is authenticity. I mean, to your point about how young people don't see ads anymore, a big reason for that is that they're more savvy about how ads work and how to dodge them, but they also completely understand how like ads play into the ecosystem and support the content that they watch. So stuff like this Crocs campaign is not only smart but necessary to actually connect meaningfully with those young audiences because they can smell out a like broadcast, untargeted, irrelevant ad before they're even a second into the playtime. So yeah, authenticity is everything, obviously.
I mean, that ad savviness is something that comes up again and again. And to your point, it's not just one way, right? It's not just I'm avoiding ads, right? They understand advertising in the ecosystem and how valuable it is in supporting the content they love. So, that comes back to one of the things we talked about, right? It's not about interrupting culture within gaming, right? It's really about immersing yourselves in culture and becoming part of the conversation. So I know you guys are looking at that as well.
Yeah, so taking it beyond the authentic voices into immersive experiences. So part of what we've See if we can get going there. There we go. Part of what we've been doing is finding the right moment within the game, and it's doing it in a way that's non-intrusive, that's unblockable and unskippable. So this is actually an advertisement that's being shown in the stream, and what you'll notice is the creative that's shown on stream is very similar to the creative of the game. And so what we're trying to accomplish here, what we believe we've accomplished, is making it really easy for the brand to activate in a way that is relevant, that's authentic, and that is non-intrusive to the experience, and actually becomes additive because it does all of those things. And I don't know if, Pete, if you have anything to add.
We're looking at this kind of thing all the time from the agency side now because of, I don't know, I don't want to say the streaming world, or at least the typical like media play part of the streaming world is like oversaturated, but again, there's a lot of these super ad savvy audiences are figuring out ways to either get around these ads or just completely tune them out. And so this kind of like direct integration into the content is something that we're always looking at actively now. But to your point, it has to be relevant. If you're just running your Gen Pop ad in a little box on the stream, that's also derailing. That's also going to, sort of void the point of the whole integration. Yeah. So yeah, that sort of native fit with what's happening on stream is paramount for us.
Yeah. Again, I go back to my son, focus group of one, 9-year-old. Probably 90% of his time is playing video games and then watching those same video games being played by other people. Again, he's underexposed to advertising, and when he does see advertising, he's very adept at getting around it, right? Skip, right? So obviously, Matt, you and your team are thinking about this problem, and this actually immerses in a way that is unskippable, right? That can't be stopped by an ad blocker, that is un-AIable in a way. So, yeah, just curious what else you guys are working on.
Yeah, so in addition to finding the right communities, the right voices to talk about your brand, putting it in a way that shows up well in stream, that is, again, additive, we wanted to take it a step further, and we've added in 2 new innovative things, first of which is this computer vision technology. So what we wanted to do is find the moments in-game where there was great elation. And so what you're seeing here on stream is actually an example of somebody winning a Fortnite match, and while that's happening, the Cash App, the brand, gets to show up authentically here and basically showcase, hey, we are a part of this moment, a part of this viewership experience. And while doing that, you also have the chance to promote your brand. So you kind of get to leverage the affinity from that moment into actual execution and conversion. Another example of this is in a Rocket League match. So one was winning the match in Fortnite, but here in Rocket League, this is actually based off of what's called a demo. So you'll see that car just got exploded there. So Safe Flight campaign pops up. Hey, you just got demoed, your car just got blown up. Well, make sure you stop in and get your screen repaired, right? And giving a very clear call to action. So it allows us to be really innovative and unique about how we show up. The last one that I'd call out is actually around some AI technology that we've integrated, which is taking what's being talked about in chat. See if I can get to the next slide here. Maybe. Talking about what's happening in chat, and based off of that, being able to actually show advertisements from it. So here we go. What you're going to see here is somebody in chat talking about how hungry they are, and as a result of that conversation and what's being shared, we're able to actually showcase an advertisement that fixes and matches that need. So you're hungry? Well, why don't you go get a Klondike bar, and here's a link to go click through and actually purchase it. And we could do this with a lot of different types of organizations. So Pete, I don't know if you've had any experience with anything like this.
It's just relevance, right? It's in the simplest terms, that's what we care about. That's what we're trying to buy. It's what we're trying to access. And so when you have tech like this that enables that like actual relevance, like the worst thing that could happen during a live stream that we're sponsoring is that some amazing moment is happening in the native content, and then all of a sudden, boom, full screen ad takes it over and derails the entire thing. You might get negative sentiment. You might even get complete click away from the sponsored stream. This is the opposite of that, right? It gives us technologically enabled relevance that makes our spend and what we're paying to do feel more engaging, it's more likely to win hearts and minds, like we're trying to do with this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think one other piece I'd add to that is, so often brands in our space come in and they tell you what they want you to hear, but this is a part of joining the conversation and joining the community. So not only are you getting to share, but you also get to listen. And as part of listening, you get to share something that really matters and actually solves a need. So we're really excited about it and excited to keep growing it alongside Playwire.
Yeah, I mean, we're super excited for the partnership. We're super excited for Pete. Thank you for your thoughts. I mean, I think this, to me, ultimately, if you can generate this level of relevance, it kind of transcends advertising, right? It becomes part of the content. You become part of the community. To your point, you're listening to what the community is stating, and you're just going to drive better alpha effectively. So, I think obviously the industry is going to undergo massive disruption in the coming year. AI is everywhere. We know it's everywhere. What I love about this technology, just from a partner's perspective, from an advertiser's perspective, it leverages AI in a smart way to help achieve better results. So we're really excited about it. Pete, we're excited. Any last thoughts, Pete, on kind of what you're thinking about?
I mean, just community, honestly. Like this is how working with partners like you guys and making plays like this is how you actually integrate into a community in a way that feels meaningful, especially if you're delivering a reward like you guys have been trying to do. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we're grounding, at least at the Group M side, we're thinking about from gaming, how do we build or how do we integrate into communities? And this feels like just one of a myriad of ways that we're focused on this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Discord started off well talking about community. I think community is going to be the underlying thing that holds everyone together over the next 15 months in this industry. So stay strong, team, and thank you very much, Pete. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you, everyone.